Hello, welcome to the Hypergamous Journey, and my name is Denise. Thank you for dropping by. At the Hypergamous Journey channel, we discuss dating advice for women 55 and older who would like to date up, who would like to date someone of a higher social and economic status. So, I have not arrived. I'll say that up front. I'm sharing with you my Hypergamous journey. So today I would like to talk about what is commonly known as interracial dating, interracial marriages and marrying, but I'm not a big fan of the word interracial because it's a man-made concept, and these sociologists, psychologists, and whomever else with a IST on the end of their names on these titles came up with this structure. And even as a little girl, I never understood, like, why is it, we have to be different races based on skin color, hair texture, and all of that physical outside stuff. When you, excuse the grossness, but when you cut us open, we're all the same. We all bleed red blood. We all have the same organs. Babies come out the same way. Waste comes out the same way. It's just, we have more in common that is exactly the same pretty much than we have things that are not the same. So I would like to create my own little jargon around, quote, interracial dating, to change it to dating people of other melanation. I meant to look up that word melanation to see if it really exists in the dictionary or online, but I forgot. So anyway, I will call it dating people, or dating men of different melanation. So when I really became open to this, it was really 2 years ago, going on 3 in 2019, when I told you I became aware of hypergamy. And through a couple of YouTube influencers, Shira71, Chloe _ The Pink Pill, Crystalline Karazin, Michaela Pink, those are the main ones, because you can go down the rabbit hole of YouTube if you want to, because it's just so many people talking, including myself. And so I had to go back in time to remember when I became interested in boys, because we're talking about when I was younger, when I became interested in boys who were of a different melanation. I grew up in Harlem, in New York City, and so most of the people that I grew up with were African American. At that time, we called them Black. So Blacks and Puerto Ricans. Most of my friends were Black and Puerto Rican. And I knew they were Puerto Rican because they said they were from Puerto Rico, or their parents were from Puerto Rico. So I am clear that there's a difference between other Spanish-speaking countries, Dominican, Cuban, etc. But these people were from, my friends were from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. And I loved them, and they loved me. And so that's where I really began, when I growing up in that mixed environment, where I began to become friends with. My best friend when I was about 13 was Puerto Rican, and she introduced me to her family. Her mother embraced me. Her dad, he wasn't there that much. He worked a lot. But her mom was a stay-at-home mom. She understood English, but she couldn't speak it. So my friend did a little bit of interpreting for us, but she always invited me to stay. So she was very kind to me. And I never met a person who wasn't kind to me when I was a kid, as far as my friends were concerned. And so that's where I first became aware that I was attracted to people or boys who were not Black, but I was attracted to guys that were Black. So I was really attracted to lots of different kinds of looking guys. So fast forward to high school. I went to high school also in New York City. And again, I was surrounded by Black and Puerto Rican students, but also Jewish students and a smather of Asian students. And then when I got to college, I also went to college in New York. I really got to see and interact with a broad range of students, from Jewish students, Black students, Spanish speaking students, because now I'm not just dealing with Puerto Rican students, but people from all over the world who speak Spanish, and Asian students, Italian students or descent. So there I got a nice little appetite for the buffet, so to speak. A buffet of people who I went to school with and I made friends with, and had a crush on an Asian guy. We were tennis partners, but he would never ask me out, but the feeling and the attraction was there. I dated a couple of Puerto Ricans while I was in college. Puerto Rican who was my complexion, and I had a kind of a crush on, I guess they would call a white Puerto Rican, you know, lighter skin, straight hair, that kind of thing. But so I'm saying this to let you know that growing up in New York City, I was exposed to lots of different cultures and embraced by different cultures too. They were just kind to me. And so when I graduated college and started, you know, making my way in the world, that's when I kind of shut down and put on blinders to other cultures and other melanated men who were differently melanated. And I just felt like, okay, well, he has to be Black, he has to be Black, he has to be Black. And I really didn't know why I was thinking that way, because at one point in college, a white Italian guy approached me in the optometrist's office. I bought all of my colored eyeglasses there, red and pink and blue, and because I was wearing glasses and I had to have a pair to match my outfits. And I was constantly going there. And so one day he told me that his girlfriend wore her hair like mine. I had these little box braids. And I was like, is she Black or not? So, anyway, he asked me out on a date and I agreed. And then he began to like me. This is after he broke up with his girlfriend. So then he began to like me and wanted to, you know, pick me up from home, pick me up from home and take me on a date. Before, I would meet him after my classes in college, my college classes, because it was in walking distance of where he worked. So I would just walk on over there and he would take me to lunch. But then he wanted to come home and take me on a date at night. And I lived in public housing, and so that was not going to go down well because I was afraid for my safety and his safety. So I said no to that, and eventually we just went our separate ways. He went on to college and graduated, and I went on to college and graduated. And I tell you that to say that's where my appetite from differently melanated men came about, growing up in New York and all those different cultures and going to college and school and high school with all these different kinds of people. And then when I graduated, I forgot about that. And so even though I was attracted to other men, I didn't really know how to signal my availability and willingness to talk to other kinds of melanated men. Now I do. So what I'm saying is this: women, Black women, expand your options. And Crystalline of the Pink Pill says this all the time. Go where you're celebrated, expand your options, and choose the best man for the job. And so that's where I am now. And I just keep it to myself. You know, sometimes my friends will ask me what melanation is the man that I'm going on a date with, and I will tell them, but they're not open to other melanated men, and I am. And so I said, to each his own. So be open to melanated men. We'll have more options if we do and put ourselves in those places where they are. If you like this video or any of my others, please like, subscribe, share, and click on the notification bell for new videos. Thank you for watching, and my journals are going to be up in a few days. I am so excited. Thank you for watching. Come back. Bye.